When first contacted by Europeans, the Caddo tribes of indigenous Texans were made up of at least 25 bands and 3 confederacies on both sides of the Red and Sabine Rivers. That put some of the thriving people across a wide area of what is today northeast Texas. They had lived there for centuries before Europeans began recording history to paper. Specifically, the Hassanai people were those who lived in Texas. They were at the southwest corner of a large swath of fertile land controlled by independent groups from a mound builder culture. The mounds that sometimes appeared throughout Caddoan landscapes were used for ceremonial and religious purposes, and sometimes served as platforms for temples. Burial practices for the tribal elite also included mounds, and the departed were interred along with belongings to help in their next life. The Caddo Indians were excellent farmers, and they made the rich land of the Neches and Angelina River valleys work for them. They inhabited everything from individual homesteads to small villages to large civic and cultural centers. Their houses were fashioned with a precise circular plan of bent poles and horizontal lathing covered with grass. Construction was carried out as a community event. Men raised the poles and women thatched the structure. This skill and knowledge has been passed down to a few Caddo who can practice it today. Family lineage was traced through the mother's line, not the father's, and marriages took place between 2 different clans. It was a stratified society, with certain families recognized as elites. That included sophisticated political and social systems. The Caddo relied heavily on corn in their diets, and also raised different types of beans and squash. Corn was such a staple that there were 2 crops per year. Deer was the primary meat, but the Caddo also made use of bison and bear for meat, fur, and hides. When horses, introduced to the continent by Europeans, became available to them, the Caddo began to undertake bison hunting trips. Texas Caddo people maintained vibrant trade with other indigenous people across a wide area of North America. They exported hides and ceramics and imported copper from the Great Lakes, turquoise from New Mexico, and seashells from all along the Gulf Coast, including as far away as Florida. When the Spanish and French established regular contact, the Caddo expanded their trade to become partners with them as well. Using goods they acquired through those trade routes, the Texas Caddo Indians made their own tools, clothing, shelter, baskets, and personal ornaments like jewelry. They also manufactured some of the highest quality ceramics in North America. The Caddo settlements in East Texas remained in place until the 1830s, though much of the ceremonial finery of previous centuries was long gone. The tribe was finally pushed west by land-hungry Americans in the 1840s. They settled for a time in the upper Brazos Valley, but were soon relocated to a reservation in the western part of Indian Territory, today's Oklahoma. Though the people themselves are largely gone from the state borders, the Caddo name is attached to the largest natural lake in Texas, a beautiful water wilderness filled with towering cypress trees. In fact, the name Texas itself comes from the Caddo word for friend.